Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. It's Monday, July 21st. Your county council meeting has begun. We are in quorum. All right, we're going to start right off with the auditor's budget. And she's not here, obviously.
She's not here, but I am gonna speak for her.
Okay, you got 10 minutes.
Okay, so Michaeline is asking to make Suzanne first deputy with, of course, the bump in pay that comes with that job. Michaeline is also asking for her original pay when she started. As you all know, we did lose a deputy in our office. We've all sucked up the work. We didn't ask to hire anybody, so we're all having additional work. So just to let that out there.
Okay. What does everybody think? I'll tell you what I
So
think.
who, are you gonna be the first deputy, Teresa?
No, Suzanne.
So before we even really think about any of this,
Mhm.
there needs to be, I think, and you guys can disagree or agree with me. I think there needs to be equity across the board. I mean, a first deputy is a first deputy, I think, for whatever office they're on. If that means, for instance, we take all the first deputies, we add their pay together, and we divide it by how many they are, and what it is. Somebody may lose, but somebody may gain. And that way everybody's on the same playing field.
So wait, well. So sometimes first, so in Suzanne's case, she does a few extra things. She's got HR, she's over property.
Okay,
So are you saying that?
is she working, I mean, my question would be, is she having to work overtime to get all those duties done?
She comes in early. She stays.
Well, that's her choice.
Yeah, well, I come in early and I stay through lunch also.
We know that's your choice. I mean, those are just my thoughts on it. And as far as the stipend. Michaeline said that it was in Indiana code. Well, the Indiana code says may. It doesn't say shall. So. We may need to take a hard look at all those stipends that say may and not shall, because
I didn't see it.
we're gonna have to cut. That's all there is to it.
So if we're doing a huge bump, not that I know, I've only heard rumors, if we're doing a bump in planning because they lost a person, what's the difference in our office?
Planning, they consolidated. They took the BZA way down, so the budget with the planning, the BZA is less than what it was before. They went from 3 full-time employees to 2 full-time and 1 and no part-time.
We went from 4 deputies to 3.
I know you did.
And
I know you did.
that's a huge amount of money.
I know you
That's-
did.
For that, it's like $75,000 to $100,000 a year.
So this is the quandary that we're in right now with this whole thing. Because. Sometime down the line, somebody's played favorite. And some departments have got more raises than what the other ones have, because why aren't all elected officials the same? Aren't they the same?
Well, Michaeline did say this morning that they're paid differently according to their workload.
Yeah, but that's like that's an inanimate thing that nobody can track. I mean, because they have all of you, and the clerk, I don't know, has 6, 7 deputies, I don't know how many there are. And then you have treasurer has 1, recorder has 1. So. I mean, tax season's crazy, obviously.
Tax season is crazy, and there's an awful lot coming out of our office. There's payroll, there's all the claims for the entire county.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
property.
There is a load, I know.
It's a heavy load.
So. Where is the paper what she's requesting for Suzanne to make?
I don't know if she didn't
Oh.
put it in here for you, then,
I didn't see.
I mean, I don't know how we can
I
make a
was
decision on anything
looking.
if we don't even have all the information.
is it something that you might already have?
I don't think so.
And I get those.
Is there been a job description approved by the commissioners?
There I can always make a note and I can look.
Because they're gonna have to approve the job description before we can even act on anything, I would certainly think.
Okay,
Because our thing is salary ordinance is not, job descriptions or employees' duties. I mean, I don't know, what's everybody else think?
I can get you a job description tomorrow.
I mean, I'm not gonna talk for everybody,
Which particular point are you asking?
all of them.
That's cool. That doesn't narrow it down.
How much difference is there from the high to the low in these different so who would be the lowest paid office help that we have? Cause you're talking deputies are different in different.
Probably the surveyor or the treasurer, I would guess. I mean, Gwen, am I right? I said probably the lowest paid deputies are. What's Sarah's title now? It's first deputy, right?
8,000, so possibly next year.
And then
So
what's
there's
Amber?
Elected official, she's a first deputy, so she's at 41 something. Then there's deputies, and there's office assistants, or whatever you call them.
So-
There's,
See right here's the prime example. Your first deputy is at 41, yours at 38. How much was yours at, Bernadette? Even though, yeah, see, so they're like all over the place.
Well, and how did that happen? Do you see,
I don't-
Teresa, because of workload, do you think is?
I was told that there was a time when pay was doled out per workload. I wasn't here for that. I don't know how,
I mean-
who originally did it, but that's
Could longevity have a little bit to do with that?
longevity does.
Is it that way? They had a big study and their offices all get paid differently.
Well. I don't know what. You guys' thoughts are on all this.
Well, I like consistency, however, if, just because you're called a first deputy and one person's workload is substantially higher than another first deputy's, then I don't know that that kind of consistency is a good thing or is warranted either.
Well, that's something that you have to quantify. I mean, how do you quantify that?
Well, a lot of times your first deputy is gonna step in for that elected official when they can't.
And that's a
That's a
good
big
point.
responsibility also.
Kelly,
I was gonna say, most offices only have one first deputy.
right,
My office has one, Gwen's has one, recorder's office has one.
that probably has one too, right?
One, but she also has deputies under that.
Yeah,
Auditor, same thing, first deputy, deputy under
Well, we
that.
don't have a first deputy right now.
Well, not right now, but. that's
so,
hard.
I mean, Suzanne's doing the job and I mean, she was going to conference today, that's why she's not here,
So-
but she's doing it, just not getting paid.
so my thought is. If we're gonna do anything, it appears to me that there ought to be a first deputy's. Position in the auditor's office. So it's consistent with everybody else.
Maybe in every
Yeah.
elected office to step up in case something happens to
And-
the elected
I
official.
don't know about the recorder, is she a first deputy, if I don't know?
Yes, Jen is.
Jennifer,
She is,
yeah.
okay. So it appears to me that there should be consistency
As far as the position
Yeah.
existing in each
Yeah.
office.
Existing. and to Suzanne's, to her position, her point. I mean, she does deal with HR. Which. I mean, that could be trying alone. I don't know what kind of special training she has for it. If she has any, I don't know the answer to that.
So didn't you say though that the commissioners will have to approve the position first?
I think they would have to prove
So
the
that-
position first, because we want to change the position. The salary notes, we can do that, but the position needs to be. It needs to be created with, with the job description. So like, did you do that, Glenn?
Yeah,
Did you take it to them today?
I did.
And what'd they say?
It was commissioner approved pending council review.
Okay,
What did the commissioners approve?
they approved. Gwen doing just what we're talking about. Making Sarah the first deputy. In her pay,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I don't have any problem with that. I guess, the difference in the deputy's pay is what I really don't understand.
well, I do understand what Teresa said, but. Once again, that's really a hard thing to quantify. Because. It's like, you don't go in there and say, well, today you have to get this, and this done, well. nobody knows, first of all, if you got it done, and second of all, if you really had to
You
get
guys
it
know
done.
if we don't get our stuff done.
Well, that's what I mean. We know from that aspect, but we don't know anything else. And it's probably not our point to know, really, other than
Well,
the
I mean, to fill the
monetary.
position, yeah, you do have to know, but it seems like it would look at us as a council as a whole, looking at each job description for each first deputy and then doing some sort of comparative analysis of it, not, just amongst ourselves, not having some.
Because the budget has to be in Gateway by when? August,
I think it's August.
I don't know what though.
Not
Do you know?
I'm not really sure.
Anybody know?
I can find out.
What, does somebody know roughly with all the elected office holders,
I don't have a copy of tolerance.
deputies' salaries? How much do they vary? I mean, are we varying a couple $1,000s or is it, yeah, we're varying between $1,000 and $3,000 is what there's variation, right?
It's,
You
yeah,
think?
right.
And you know, the worst part about all this is we spend all this time talking about it, trying to figure it out, and the state comes back and said, okay, you guys gotta cut $1.5 million out of your budget.
We're gonna have to cut positions.
And then it's gonna come down to, in my thought, we're gonna have to figure out what the percentage is per office, and we're gonna say, hey, you're gonna have to do this. And then if they don't wanna do it, I guess we'll have to do it.
Maybe that's an answer, instead of having one set rate to put into place for all first deputies, maybe it might make sense to make it that a first deputy can be paid a certain percentage of that department's budget, and we just make it a set percentage across the board. And then I might create a little more leeway for each department, depending on their budget, how busy they are, their workload. And I might be looking at it incorrectly, that just because you have a bigger budget means you have a bigger workload. I don't know. I might be.
You can have a bigger budget because you have more employees in your office.
Okay.
That was my thoughts, that if you only have one employee in your office, well, that first
So-
deputy needs to have a larger salary.
Okay,
Don't know what the elected officials make.
80%. So Gwen. So the commissioners approved yours or Sarah's,
Yeah, pending council review,
and what did they approve it at? So,
$40,861, the same as the other first deputy. And the recorder's office and the treasurer's.
okay.
So is that 80% of your budget?
No,
Okay.
well, you got Gwen's pay is different than every other office. Because of the statute about, you set the salary and then technically by statute, I think they're supposed to get 66%
Yeah,
of whatever it is, unless you're a registered engineer or licensed surveyor. That's the way the surveyor's budget, their salary bonus works. Which
Is Gwen at that?
she might be a little above it. No, because we set the pay. And then I think you're making more than 66% of what,
well, keep in mind that budget was cut when the previous surveyor. came into office.
Absolutely,
well, I know,
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
not by quite a bit.
but
Gwen is not asking
no,
for
no, she's not.
anything,
I
but
know
only
she's
for
not.
her.
And I commend
First
you
deputy.
for that.
And I honestly think that needs to be approved.
I honestly agree with you.
So
We're
if
working on this one right here, right? You're working
Well,
on Nicolene's,
There's
right?
that we can't do anything because there's not a position.
can we table?
If the
Create one.
commissioner,
Yeah.
if the commissioners want, assuming they approve the position, then we can revisit the question of pay on
Okay.
that one. So I guess we're just.
So
we can be further-
Before the budget's due.
We may have to have a special meeting.
Okay.
I mean, we could even have a joint meeting, as much as I hate those.
Okay.
So do you want to table what we're doing with the auditor? Are you looking for that motion? If you are, I'm prepared to make that.
I would think that would be the motion somebody should probably make.
I will make that motion. I will so move.
Okay, do we have a second? We have any discussion on that? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right. I'm gonna go ahead with the jail first, then we'll come back to you, Gwen, okay, so we can stay so we can stay on tune here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nathan Cadell. I'm the warden out at the Sheriff's Department. The last commissioner meeting, we approached the commissioners for a transformation of a cell that was originally designed for a second padded cell for the Sheriff's Department. For whatever reasons, I wasn't involved in that. That did not happen, whether that was finances or didn't think there was a need for it. So the building was designed for a second padded cell, but it was never padded. So over the last few years, we've seen a slow increase of what we call a mental health crisis coming into our facility. That's not overly alarming, but what is alarming is the length of time that they're starting to spend in these cells. And what is happening is we're getting multiple at one time, which becomes a liability for us as a department, for the county itself. If we don't have a place where someone is allegedly trying to harm themselves in a very serious way, and we don't have a place to put them, that exposes us pretty tremendously. So what we did was, we got different quotes. I think you'll see 2 different quotes. We did try for 3. You'll see some emails with correspondence, things like that. We could not get that 3rd quote. We presented that in front of the council. They did approve it with some stipulations. One of the stipulations was, the commissioners, not the council. They did approve it. 1, we had to come in front of you guys. And 2, I had to have a conversation with the company by the name of Marathon, which is the very first page.
For the 90-10?
Yes, they wanted this, the quote you have in front of you is a full payment, gives a 10% discount. The company was willing to do a 90% payment with a 10% payment invoice waiting for completion of the job, and they would still give that same discount.
Were they gonna pay for it
That would come out of the
jail
jail seated.
Jail seated, okay.
Yeah, I did speak just briefly with Mike about it, and he said that the commissioners approved it. And since they are willing to work with us on. I like a 50% down to 50% being better, obviously, but. I mean, 90 is better than 100, I guess.
Are you comfortable with this company?
We worked with them before. They actually did a small repair on the one we currently have. They actually did I don't believe they did the initial install, but I want to call it like a sister company to the original, and we worked with them before, and they've done a very good job for us.
So it's not just because they're the cheapest, you think they're.
Correct.
Correct, right.
This is
Sometimes cheapest ain't always the best.
No.
Right,
It's not,
okay.
Yep, I don't have an issue, or I don't have a huge concern.
yeah. All right, with that being said, so what is the total? Is the total price 170 plus the 960, right?
Correct. There's 2 different quotes. There's also a changing of the window that was installed. We wanted to make that cell as closely identical to one as the original.
So what is the total?
So what is the total there?
It would be
33,170.
I see the 28,970, but I don't know.
Then there's one for 960.
and then you would subtract the 2679.
So I see one quote for 33,170. And then I see another one for
The
Nine-
33,170 is the second quote that was not approved by the commissioners.
so that was a worse one. There was a.
The very first page shows those
Pages like.
Oh, okay.
29,000.
Okay,
There.
all right, good.
Okay, but the window you say is on top of this?
Is that the 960?
That's the 960. I believe that's the.
Oh, I trying to look.
Yeah, that's the window.
Okay.
That'd be the 4th page. And that's coming from a company called ISO Climate.
Okay, I see it. So you're wanting approved tonight, the 960 plus the 28,970 minus.
The 2679.
I'm okay with that.
It's gotta be
You're
done.
saying the length of stays.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
How long that was the average stay?
But it depends on the client, unfortunately, and the level of offense that they have. What we try to do, it doesn't always work, for a lower level, less of a risk to the community. We try to work with the courts to expedite that as quickly as we can. what we're seeing is the level of offense and the risk to the community over the last couple that we've had, especially. Were a significant risk to the community, and it wasn't beneficial to the community to try to speed that process up and get them back into society. A lower risk individual, the courts work with us fantastically to try to resolve that. But with these higher level offenses that we're starting to see come in of severe. I'm not a doctor, so I can't make any of those claims, but there's significant mental health.
So there's psychoses or drug addiction or both.
It could be, I don't have the certifications to make that. I can make assumptions.
Well, I mean, you have your personal observations.
Yeah, I would say that.
Tweaking on meth versus just raping psychotically, right?
Correct. There is a difference.
So the total is 27,251. Is what the total is. So that is with the discount. So do we have a motion to pay the 27,251 out of jail seal? Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, all right, Gwen. We're right on time.
Just make one statement. I was told that there was a first deputy before, but we couldn't keep a first deputy because Sarah and Suzanne worked in the same department, and since they were related, couldn't have a first deputy.
So does that position still exist? Or was it completely taken out of the salary ordinance and gone?
I don't know.
Well, we'll have to find that
All
out.
right, I'll find out.
And then we have to have a special meeting, we'll have a special meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Gwen, you're up.
Okay, I went before the commissioners this morning and spoke with them about. Raising Sarah's pay to deputy pay. She's at 38 something now. It would bring it up to $40,861. And they approved it pending council review.
And that's the same as Kelly's?
Yes, in the
No.
reporters.
It's not the same as yours?
Yeah, 40,861.
Never made 41, I think. I don't know. I'd have to
This
look.
is just shy of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
861.
Mhm.
Was there anything you're asking other than this?
Oh, no, that was all.
This is what you're in front of us. I'll make the motion to approve that.
I'll second
Okay, we have a motion second, any discussion, Howard?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay,
Very second.
And then real quick also, there's gonna be a float in the parade on Sunday. And it's going to be, officials and support staff and also the 250th committee. So anyone is welcome to join if you'd like to be on the float.
I'll be there,
All right.
all right,
Thank you, Glenn.
very good.
Meeting.
Hello, David. I thought I seen you.
What was that message you sent out about meeting to line up for the parade where everyone can park at Tony Williams' house?
yes.
And then you'll all get on the float from there and then go line up so people don't have to be worried.
Yes, correct.
There you go.
All right, the next thing. Okay. We gotta do this one. So. Where do they think this money's coming from? That's my question.
Paperwork on that. If it says it on my-
You have questions for Mike, he can join soon.
Well, these. Okay, I know about Mike's. What about, where's the stuff for the, Oh, there it is, okay, all right. These additional appropriations from sheriff.
Where'd you find that? I got it right.
I don't think we have enough money.
Well,
Okay,
some of us
we
we
getting paid for this, for sure. I don't know what the. Is it in here?
Yeah, being page, what is it, from the creative?
Yeah, there is actually. $1 million in there. Well, the extra help, we knew that was gonna happen. And I think the patrolman. Was that the other one that we funded? Didn't we?
It had already been funded by some additional.
And that's really about the only thing that I've got a question about. Is what the patrolman is. Do you know, Dave?
Oh, just trying to think of it. They promised it. Thank you. I was following it on my phone, but thank you for that.
I mean, I kind of wish they would have been here.
You say we promised this?
I don't remember that we promised it. That's what
I don't think I think we need to consider it at budget time, but I don't think we're gonna.
They're asking this for this year or for?
No, this is for now.
For right now.
And they want to advertise it for the August meeting. That's the way I understand it, right? Am I correct?
Think so.
I do have something for you on that, Todd, actually, because I asked Donnie about this after the LEPC meeting. Remember Jim Press, because I think you talked to Jim Pressel about this too. There was supposed to be legislation to make it so our jail seat it can be used for everything. Is this because did we have an officer in jail seated and moved it out? Is that why this is here?
I don't know.
Because remember Pressel said that we were gonna get to use, it was gonna be set up just like all the. Well, they used to be option income taxes, all the lit taxes.
Yeah.
Now you can use them for anything.
I don't know whatever became of that law though.
Do you remember this discussion, Justin? Because Jim said it was gonna get done and
I remember having.
Donnie said he was gonna call him
Wow.
tonight.
You want to call people? His number on Facebook.
Well, or Todd, if it's not really relevant till August, maybe we can table it and wait to find out what Jim tells us, because I think.
that would be true.
I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is. Where they're at. We don't want them to go over. You know, with the help, you know, the retirement, we know that's been
Forever.
a forever thing.
What about the overtime? Is that gonna be, is this for the entire remainder of the year?
Well,
He's asking for that?
you would hope that it would be, but. We don't really know.
And how much of it is, what do we need now? And can that cannot be paid out of jail seated now as we know it unless.
That's the
Unless
problem.
it's changed.
That's where I think this may have cropped up, because we had a discussion about what we had in the
Yeah,
fund,
So.
and that we had to move some things back out.
yeah.
I would almost think we should do what we need to do.
Yeah, here, April's on the phone now. April?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Yes,
So. We just have some questions.
okay.
The retirement, we know that's always been a nightmare forever. What about this patrolman for $65,000? What's that?
So I believe that we can transfer some of that. I'm not, to be honest, I'm at home, I don't have my numbers in front of me, so I'm not super positive. I couldn't be there tonight, so all of my notes are not with me.
Cause I just see that it just says patrolman and I don't know if that is that for another patrolman that we?
Patrolman, we have the same positions that we've had, so my notes aren't with me, so that's why I emailed all out early.
So that would make me think that the budget from last year was underfunded for all the possible officers that could have been there. I mean, that's the only way there would be money missing out of the pay that's not overtime. I don't know how else there would be any.
Overtime of 95,000.
Yeah.
The office tomorrow, I just don't have them with me.
So let me ask you this. So
$60.
what we have here, what is critical, like right now?
I'm gonna have to try to figure out what I even sent you. The retirement has to be done either this year or next year.
We know that.
The building maintenance, we're beyond broke. I have bills already that we can't submit because we're at the negatives. So we need a ton of building maintenance money. Overtime, we're over budget on already. And the retirement we've already discussed. So I honestly don't even know what else I am thinking. So I wasn't prepared to be at the meeting tonight.
So you've got $20,000 for building maintenance, repair and maintenance and building maintenance. And then there's the overtime for 95,000. I don't.
But we're not given to me to budget in for, like, all of the trainings and everything else that they've had to do. 2 to 4 trainings a month, that is all overtime. Sorry. So we've got all the trainings have been on overtime, plus we had an open spot, we've lost people back and forth, we've lost officers back and forth. So that is some of the patrol stuff.
Yeah.
Paying out when people leave, we're paying vacations and, all that stuff.
Well, all that should be figured into the original budget for that person. That's why that $65,000 just kind of catches me.
Service hours.
I think.
To be at this meeting.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I sent everything out
Yeah.
last week with, if you guys have any questions, please ask. Cause I don't have anything with me right now, like I'm in the middle of work.
Okay, all right,
but
well, okay, you guys, anybody have any questions for?
Well, I
Dave?
mean, the question is, does this, I think can we float it another month?
yeah, I mean, you've got.
Probably can't do overtime if they're already,
Time is the holiday pay also included, so.
all right,
Alright.
yeah. I'm just thinking that, when you figure somebody's pay, the vacation ought to be in there. So there shouldn't be extra for vacation because they're already getting that pay in their pay, part of the salary.
Patrol officer's vacation is different than the county's vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to get all that straight in it before the next budget.
Retired.
Or the first, if we have to wait and do it after, we have to get that all straight, because this is like,
Solved by.
I understand what you're saying, so.
The budget, right?
Okay. Yeah. Anything else?
I'm sorry.
Anything else? Anybody?
Well, so we're gonna ask her if any of this had to do with taking anything out of jail seated.
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah, can any of this come out of jail seated?
We don't have any appropriation numbers for building maintenance. We have that prepared to move for the following year.
Yeah, we had that discussion.
Yeah, this is something that you guys have got set up since way before me. So no, I don't know what can come out of jail. There's no. We're in good shape in our jail seated budget as of right now. We're in good shape in our therapeutic communities, except for the building maintenance, which was grossly under budgeted. We have one company in particular that keeps getting used that charges us crazy money. I mean, it's a couple grand every single time. So that's been talked about. I don't know if any decisions have been made.
We need to really figure that out, because we made a pretty bold statement that, the money has to be there to be spent.
Right, and it sounds like it's once again being spent before.
Tell you what's gonna break down and what isn't. I have no control over that. That's why we're back for more money. That's why we made the plans for 2026 like we did.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not the one who decides who comes out and who doesn't. I'm just the one that gets the bills and says, oh, we gotta get to county for more money.
Yeah, so who's coming out? Is there bids let out for this repair?
I don't know that. That would be Tony Mildites and Jen Hurst question.
All right.
I
What
get the
kind of
invoice
work
that
is it?
the work is done.
And what kind of, do you know what kind of work is even being done out there?
Yeah, I've sent in invoices, detailed invoices for everything that's been done.
We never see those.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can pull them all and send them to you, but they all go to the auditor's office,
Yeah,
so.
she can get them.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I promise you.
all right, we'll do what we can here. Okay, all right,
I'll send you all my notes tomorrow. I'll just
Okay.
email them to everybody.
all right, thank you.
Sorry, guys.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
that phone's really heavy.
I'm not insinuating in any way that would.
No.
It's frivolous, however, if there's a particular company that sounds from her tone of voice and what she said, that perhaps we can get a better price from some competitor. I mean, it's concerning, the same company keeps getting all of these huge fees every time. Well, what's it for? And
Right,
who else could be providing it at perhaps a better cost?
because they don't have to have bids, what,
So has
What's
this
on?
maintenance been
50,
performed?
I thought,
Yeah, but if we don't vote to fund some of these things, maybe they'll get a little motivated to price shop.
well, maybe.
Are these maintenance projects already started and done? Well, sure they wouldn't do it
Sounds
before.
like-
So it sounds like they were, because he said they're,
Well, how do you do that if it's not appropriate?
they said there's bills stacked up that aren't being paid because there's no money in there.
Sheriff's Department before, where they have said, just go ahead and spend it and then we'll ask,
Well,
like,
yeah,
put us up against the wall. That's why I'm.
it needs done, I can understand it, but do it after you have an appropriation, don't just.
So they're holding the money to pay it because.
What's the difference between building maintenance and repair and maintenance?
There's two different numbers.
Maintenance is maintenance, repair, that's acute, that's what comes up and pops up at the last minute, maintenance.
Right.
It's time to clean the carpets this week,
Hmm.
not repair the hole in the carpet.
Right.
All right, well,
So I have to be honest, Teresa, this report here, this financial report. It's not exactly the same as what I'm used to with the budget status report. I see that some things are on here, but I think it might have been Todd or Bruce asked for us to have a report each time.
Yeah, this one here is not.
I don't, see, the thing is that I think what we want to be able to do, and maybe it's just here, I don't see it. But like, I think the idea, correct me if I'm wrong, council, but the idea was we would have a report here that we could say, okay, the sheriff's budget for patrolmen. We want to be able to look and see what we budgeted and how much has been expended from that.
And where we're at now,
I don't think I see, like, for example, I don't find patrolmen on this list.
No. It's,
Does anybody else know if it's called something different and I'm just not seeing it? Because I don't know,
the funds aren't broken
no
down,
offense, because we did ask for a report.
the funds are not broken down enough. Enough subcategories to figure it out, that I can see,
Okay, like where,
right?
where's, some things are here, you know what I mean?
Some things are, but some aren't.
Like this.
What page you on, Dave?
Does it-
I'm just generally
Doesn't matter what
approving
it
this
is, right?
financial report, like it has a lot of things on there. But like if it says health,
Standing alone, you really
for
don't.
example, health, what does that mean? Is that money that's collected by the health department? Like, I think this is just all the. This is fund balances, not department,
This is fund balances, completely.
just. Because I guess it would be nice. This is cool too, though, like, this is helpful, because like, you know, like, for example, on the economic development foundation, I work with the lead track, and so I've been wondering where that was at, so this is great, now I can see this here. But, I think it would be, sometimes it's just helpful, like, if we can look and say, okay, we're short on patrolmen. Are we gonna be able to make it to the end of the year? Like, we're a little over halfway through, we're 70% of the year. They're asking for 65,000. What I'm concerned is that gonna get us through one more month? Or till the end of the year? And I guess I should have said that in the email, like, I just,
I think we ought to. We need to get the sheriff's department in.
yeah, I mean, the retirement can obviously wait, we're not gonna be penalized for that.
Yeah, that's always been.
But yeah, right, it's always been short. You know, the problem is, we've had staffing problems, so we knew that we were gonna be short on overtime, we've talked about that with
Yeah.
April a couple of times, so like.
Yeah,
But my question is, where does 95,000 take us? And then. And then I already asked that about the patrolman, I mean, I do think that we're gonna have to sit down, like, we're gonna have to decide, Cause if this training is gonna cost us overtime.
Training shouldn't be put down, but people shouldn't be being paid overtime for training. I mean, maybe that goes against the logistics of what happens on a day-to-day basis. But I can't imagine any other job I've worked in my entire life where an organization would allow me to train and make overtime.
Well, you try to do it on shift. I mean, you know, fire departments do that, paid fire departments, well, you know, if they can. I don't know if that means they came in on a Saturday. I think what it is it's probably hard to get everybody off at the same time to do training, but you're right, normally if you're doing any
They
straight
schedule
time.
training
yeah.
during different shifts.
Yeah, so how many people are on straight time during that training or are all, like, I think we do need to talk about it, otherwise we're gonna run out of money again.
Yeah.
And you know what's happening next year, and it's gonna get worse as time goes on.
Yeah, we gotta get a handle on.
so. I'm thinking that we may have to have a joint meeting with commissioners.
Yeah, that's,
But-
what I was trying to find out on my phone earlier when I was swiping around was I couldn't remember if we got a budget status from her. So this is what we should do then. If we, even if we don't put it in the auditor's office, if something comes. Like in the future, what we should be able to expect is that they send us a budget status just for their budget
Yeah.
with this. Cause you know.
That
the only
would
concern I
show,
have is
that
another
would
of
show
those
the funds, it would show that if the over, if it's where the overtime is, if it's 95,000 over, but some other fund in the same numbers, got a bunch. Maybe it can be transferred in there, we need to know all that stuff.
I mean, I don't wanna hang myself, you know, but I'm just gonna say, like Bruce mentioned too, like, what do we do about long term for the retirement? We've talked about the first before. You know, the argument was that a retention strategy, but I don't even know if it's. We need to ask that question again. Maybe it's not a retention tool anymore. You know what I mean?
We had these same problems 30+ years ago with the retirement. When do we just nip it and get it under control?
The odd part about this, and we used to argue with them before, now we have a new company that's, you know, so we switched companies even and switched actuaries. But you're right, because the question is, why does it not make enough? Like, why do we have to put money into it? Why, at what point does it make enough money to where it self-sustains? It never does. You know, now, the problem is that you have cycles, because when you don't have anybody using the retirement, it's building.
Yeah.
Then when you're paying out, and we do have some sheriffs that are getting paid out, we had a death. That was a boon to the actuary for a while. But then now we have, you know, sheriff's retirements that we're paying too, so.
Yeah, at least.
Back in the day,
Yeah,
when we voted to
Well,
change
well.
retirement from 55 to 50, and half of us on the council knew it was gonna be a catastrophe, and it was, and then we had to change it back. Or you guys had to change it back at some point in
Was that
time.
a commissioner's vote to raise or lower the retirement age, or was that a council?
We did that back in 94, I think, and what a mistake, but.
Well, and then because there's also the percentage that comes out too, that's something that's a variable too, that. We brought it up and it was not received well, but you know, that's the other thing is how much they contribute also impacts number two.
This is sad to say, but the only thing that saved part of it was when Harold Schott passed away and
Yeah,
when
that's-
Wilkes passed away and they
That's
didn't
That's what
use
we're
that
talking about.
retirement for it.
Unfortunately.
So but why does an actuary have to have that though? Like,
No, it
when
shouldn't
the
be.
market's good, like, you know, the market has been better.
Yeah, that's crazy, Larry, that's what that fund's making,
We suggested
like, almost negative.
Yes.
a few years back,
When it should
a
have.
few years back. We suggested, you and I know you and me were on the,
Yes.
and. I don't know if Kay was or not.
Kay was around for part of it.
The lady that was in charge of their retirement
Oh, yeah.
fund came in.
Yeah,
And,
It was fire and brimstone.
and we thought that company, and I still think that company
They switched.
is, okay, they switched,
They switched.
is underperforming,
Yeah,
remember?
Yep.
Okay.
all right, with all that being said. What do we wanna do with this?
Well,
Oh,
I
we
think
have
you're right,
programs.
you do need to have a workshop, a work.
Yeah,
meeting
absolutely.
for it, But I have a funny feeling this is just gonna catch things up, in my gut.
Well, that's my
Without
next
being a
question, is the
budget status.
65,000, what they're behind, or are they projecting that for the rest of the year? What did
Honestly,
we decide?
All these numbers right here, if that was till the end of the year, I don't have a problem with that. If that would get, but.
We don't know that, right?
I bet not, yeah,
depending on how we could fund that.
we don't have the budget status in front of us. And I didn't find it in my email unless somebody
And-
else has it, but,
She would have been helpful telling us what they had to have tonight.
yeah, yeah.
So
I had it in my mind, it might have been.
today being the 21st, I know the budgets have to be in Gateway sometime in August, right? So. I don't know, would we wanna consider? Having another meeting, a joint meeting with the commissioners on the 28th?
With the sheriff.
Well, he would have to be part of it.
Well, I don't know, either that or maybe you and Bruce could just go and see him first and
Yeah, but-
say, hey, like, we wanna look at these numbers.
But we're still gonna have to have another meeting if it's gonna have to. go
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Well, but I mean, if the answer is this is gonna get until the end of the year, I think we're okay, me personally, but if that's just.
I mean,
That's the big question, Dave.
the only thing I don't like about that, Dave, is I think we should all hear it,
Here's 6.
you know? Yeah, I think everybody should hear it right from the horse's mouth.
Sorry, I
You're
don't,
looking at 175.
It should be the council, the commissioners, the sheriff, April. Everybody that's involved,
So-
that way there's a question, when we have questions, questions can be answered.
So if we did a meeting the 28th. A joint with the commissioners,
Yeah, just to talk about the future.
Oh, so we have.
and that way it gives everybody time to put their stuff into in the gateway.
All I can find about Gateway is the deadline for Gateway submission of the pre-budget report is June 30th.
Okay.
That's all I can find. I
Well,
can't find.
we still gotta get
on that, yeah.
Yeah. So the pre-budget, I don't know how much that really means. Pre makes me think it doesn't mean crap.
I think it's on the floor.
Specific.
So
So
I,
how about if we,
Yeah.
how about, what time? I know Bruce, it doesn't matter.
I can't do more.
I mean, Howard.
What day is it? What's the 28th, Monday?
Monday.
Yeah.
28th, Monday night. Or-
table every time.
You can't do
The
that.
other was.
You can't do 28th?
So.
We do it
Jim told me that they gave those scouts. that we had To get people to buy more.
So-
Any sooner than five.
Yeah,
days.
Bruce, Dave, how about 5 o'clock?
Yeah, I'll zoom in. if I have to.
Okay, I will, if I have an
If it's
issue.
working, if
and that's when I'm, you know.
That's $170,000.
I need a motion that we have an exec, or not executive, but a joint session with,
Without the retirement shortage.
There'll be a
But I want.
meeting
yeah.
For the whole.
on July 28th at 5 o'clock. If the commissioners vote to make it a joint meeting with us,
That's
we
fine.
would extend the invitation.
Okay.
Well, the problem is,
Well, they're not gonna have a meeting or.
they would have to all three agree to it, or the president could just call. He could call a joint meeting with us.
Prepared for it to be a
Okay.
joint meeting, but I
Alright.
don't think we can force them.
That's your motion?
Yes.
We have a second?
I'll do it. I'll second.
I just have one discussion. I
Any discussion?
don't wanna blow your idea out of the water. If they didn't want that, what about their next meeting? What's that? What date is that? Is that just a couple days after the?
That would be,
Just so they have it.
it'd be. Would be the 4th,
The fourth.
right?
I believe so, because they just had a meeting this morning.
I feel better having them sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
You have something going on for it.
No, but I just feel having one sooner.
Anytime's okay with me.
I know it is.
Yeah, I'll zoom it.
Okay. All right. We have motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
What about the
That's
request?
From April,
Okay,
part of the patrolman budget issue is that they are paying regular patrol officers to cover shifts while others are training. She was not made aware of the monthly mandatory training when they did the budget last year.
so that doesn't,
We weren't aware of that.
that doesn't make any sense. To me. Because. If they're paying them when the other ones are in training, wouldn't it be overtime then? And
Yeah,
not,
but that was my point.
and not patrol?
Talking about, she
Yeah.
said some of the overtime that's being incurred is because of training.
Yeah,
Like
we
I
need,
said,
we need to get this all straightened
Any
out.
other organization, any that I have worked for.
Yeah, we need to get this all straightened out, because it doesn't like make any sense to me.
You put in the numbers do cover just the rest of the year.
It is the rest of the year.
Okay, that's
That makes me
good.
feel better.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right,
So
well,
the 175.
we have a motion passed, so,
Got it. I'll work on that tomorrow first.
okay,
But you wanted to run with some of these numbers, right? Just leave the retirement off and vote on the other ones?
That's the other question.
I don't know, don't. I mean, she's telling us on the phone that it's,
No, we didn't table it, Tom.
No, I thought.
No.
no, there was.
We haven't voted. We've
Yeah,
just, we're just discussing whether we're gonna have a joint meeting
The
or.
other questions, which fund those numbers can be taken from, somebody asked about jail seated, which it does have plenty of money.
Yeah, I don't know what can come from jail seated anymore.
Well, that was part of the problem, is they were saying that patrolmen really aren't jail related, you know, that was one of the things that, because we wanted to put.
Because-
We want to put one patrolman and one dispatcher in there's how we had to
Because-
do it, we had to take the dispatcher out.
Because I think what happened is, what is gonna happen is. That bill that Presto was gonna change, if it got changed. This stuff here that's in the 1,000 would come out of jail seated. Could come out of jail seated, but. I don't know if that law passed, I don't know if it went in effect July 1st, it was supposed to have been retroactive to the 1st of this year, I thought,
Donnie said he'll let us know as soon as he gets. a hold.
yeah, so we don't even know,
Okay, that all.
so. With that being said. What's the will of the board? either we vote to approve some of these or we have motion table until we meet with them next Monday.
I would move to table it week, the
Okay,
next meeting.
we have a motion to table this until next Monday. Have a second by any discussions? Anybody?
That makes sense.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Done. Okay,
So no action needs to be taken on this, Todd?
on what?
Any other, there's nothing, no actions to be taken.
No.
Okay.
The only other thing is, Justin sent out this ordinance number 14, which is just the decorum of how we should act.
With the meetings as far as renewal.
Yeah.
Rambunctious public members and.
I mean, I don't, personally, myself, I have absolutely no problem with it.
I don't either. I've read the statute and as long as the ordinance compliant with the statute, I think I just like when people come into a meeting, they know we're all on the same page as far as what sort of conditions are gonna warrant renewal and what isn't.
Because I was reading today about the open door law, and obviously, it states right in there that you don't have to let anybody talk at all in a public meeting. So I think that's a good compromise.
There's other counties that don't allow it.
No, there is, you're right.
They
None.
don't allow it at all sometimes.
So we have to advertise it. Right? Yeah, we have to advertise it. So with that being said, do we have a motion to accept ordinance 14 of 2025 regarding responsible rules and policies as written?
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
You have a second by Howard, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. I got a couple things for maybe.
Gotta do it in that shit.
You talk about. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about it? Okay, so in case everybody here doesn't know that NIPSCO acquired next year's project, which everybody knew that was probably gonna happen. So with that being said, I asked Justin a series of questions. How it's gonna affect, I don't know, Justin, if you wanna tell us what you found out.
Yes, so I can give you 74% of the answer because I'm waiting on a call back from NIPSCO's legal counsel.
Pretty cool.
So my understanding, the EDA is still an in-place agreement because there's still tax abatement tied to those economic development payments, which NIPSCO wants to presumably avail themselves of. So if NIPSCO wants the corresponding tax abatement, then they're gonna have to comply with the EDA, otherwise they're in breach and, they get no tax abatement on the personal property. I did reach out to, what's his name again? Matt Nolly, who's the attorney for Dunsbridge, Next Era, asking for a contact for the legal department for NIPSCO, and he just gave me that late this afternoon. I just asked him last week, so I'm just gonna verify with them that, hey, this is still our understanding. We're just making sure you guys aren't gonna do anything hokey here and you still want the tax abatement. So again, it's a 75% answer, but I want to verify that with their legal group, because I don't know NIPSCO's legal group, just to make sure they're still wanting that tax abatement. I don't see why they wouldn't, because to get that, they're still gonna have to make their payments.
When will we get our information from Baker Tilly?
Probably by the next meeting for sure. I will tell you what his onset was when I first talked to him. He told me upfront that agreement is a terrible agreement. He said it's terrible. He said there is no way, shape or form we should accept that tax abatement the way it's written. And that was quote unquote.
Well, the ball's in our court, right?
So
We can make count.
we'll have the report and then, we can go from there. And the other questions I asked Justin, maybe they couldn't even find or even know the answers to those. My wondering was, since NIPSCO is a public utility, do they have the right to invoke eminent domain? If they want to? I mean, I don't know. It depends how they would have to acquire all the property, obviously, through eminent domain. Since now they are the operator of that, I don't know.
not something I'm prepared to answer.
No, I know,
I just don't know.
No, that was just a thing that I had thought about. And I don't know if that's even possible. I'm thinking they're a public utility, they can probably do whatever they want. Yeah. And then the other question was about how the tax rate on the real estate would be versus a public utility versus the solar way it's taxed now, the assessed valuation. And I don't know if that changes or if it would change. I don't know.
Well, right now it's set by statute.
Yeah,
State
but
tax rate.
if you read all that says, then that whole statute is set by, it's that payment for that land is set based off of a whole bunch of other counties in some matrix that I don't know who makes it up.
You mean the 13,000 per
Yeah,
acre or whatever
yeah.
it is?
Every county's the same.
Yeah.
Based on that, but that's not being a public utility. That's being real property. Yeah. Well, if they're a public utility, they're a whole different, I mean, a private corporation cannot invoke eminent domain.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So,
I was trying to help you draw
Yeah,
the distinction.
yeah, so you might have a whole different animal, but that's not our problem because
Well,
we.
they have those, all those leases, wouldn't
They're all evidence in it, but they're evidence that those leases were filed.
they? There's survivorship on those leases, though. I mean, they couldn't just take the property from the property owners. There's no way.
Sure they could. I think they built a highway. They just take the property.
When you say they, you're talking about the government, though, not a.
But public utilities have eminent domain rights.
Private utility, though, they're not a public utility.
NIPSCO's a public utility.
I mean, but they're still, you know what I mean?
They have eminent domain rights.
By us.
They're a public.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I meant not a government.
I think when they built that tower, anybody that didn't want to sell their land for that tower, they just took it by eminent domain for that line from Remington to Elkhart County. Doesn't matter. This big gas line went from Cass County to Kokomo for that big battery plant. Well, they just went right through everybody's land. Eminent domain, there was nothing anybody could do. So.
My whole issue on a lot of this is, I don't want the county to be liable for contracts that were made with individual
That
property
shouldn't have
owners.
nothing to do with the bond or anything. That is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard of in my entire life.
But I think we just need to be careful, because if, you know, if I'm sitting in a corn crop and I get a good crop, that's my benefit. I lease it to solar and I get big money, that's my benefit. But if it goes sour, it's just like throwing dice. It should be my problem.
Like I said before, I've never seen a project where the bond is not with the owner of that project. Stark County does not own that project. That bond should not be, there should be a separate bond with every homeowner, or there should be no bond, and that's part of the deal, signing the lease. I mean, that's ridiculous. The county has that.
I don't want to see the county have liability.
Me either.
You know, we had a lot of meetings, though, and that was one of the things the public was gonna.
And I brought it up about 20 different times.
So, I mean, like even earlier than that, like the earliest solar meetings we had, the biggest thing is the people wanted the government to help make sure that they weren't gonna get, like, people have this idea, our land, our property, when they say our, like, people that live in Stark County say our food and our land. That was one of the big things that people complained about was, is the government gonna help protect them? So I think that was more a situation where we had a list of things. This is what the people asked for, and so I think the solar
When you
companies were
say
trying to
the
accommodate that.
people and some people, though, that is not a quantity. It's not a number that we can quantify at all. It could have been 3 people that brought it up throughout the course of 5 different meetings.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind of like your
like-
meetings that you have in, yeah, I agree, like the ones in Judson, the town halls, right? I mean, it was whoever showed up for that, but I mean, it's the equivalent of that.
Anyways, there's nothing we can do about that, so,
Yeah, but I just don't want us to be.
all right.
But I'm not sitting here at this moment saying that things are the way they are with the bonds because of insinuating that some majority of citizens voiced complaints and wanted the government to be responsible. My experience with folks in this county is they want government to be smaller,
All right.
not responsible for more.
With that being said, we have the approval of minutes. We have the 6/12 county council meeting or 6/16/25 council meeting. Do we have a motion to approve? We have a second. All in favor of approval of minutes?
Aye.
Motion carried. And next we have approval of the council budget workshop minutes from 7/8/25. Do we have a motion to approve? Oh, yeah.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Kay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carried. All right. You don't have anything else, right? Anybody in the audience?
Just a question on the ordinance 14, that covers the meetings, is that also something that the commissioners would be?
No, they would have to invoke their own ordinance.
So it'll be different procedures.
Hopefully they would,
For your meetings than there would be.
yeah, if they choose to adopt it,
I was just a little confused, 'cause
Yeah.
I thought you guys only dealt with fiscal stuff.
well, we do, but all that deals with is just how we run the meetings. Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Second.
Yes,
So,
Do I get signed
good news, you recall, 3 months ago, we were, before you all talking about, helping Rachel apply for a Indiana Economic Development Corporation grant for 1.225 million. We found out today they got approved. Notification came through, so went through all the processes, audits and all that stuff, and so that money's coming to the county.
That's good.
Big,
it was a long time coming.
yeah.
Yes.
I got one right budget hearing.
Thank you.
There's that one.
The decorum things on, we go outside.
It'll be, yeah, we have to, it'll be outside, yeah, yeah, it has to be. Okay, what?
That's that one. You also, original and then.
Yeah, because if you guys saw this budget for the planning commission. It's exactly like what we talked. It's exactly like we talked about at the budget workshop. The plan commission went up, but the BZA went way down.
I thought we were happy with
Yeah,
that.
we were happy with it. This is the same thing that we talked about.
You guys already approved it for it to go to,
Yeah, just put it on this form, the correct form.
I mean, it already, so it's approved for it to be 3 full-time people and do away with the part-time.
There was only two full-time people.
No, there's gonna be 3 of them. 3.
Is it 3? Thought there was 2.
They were combining Robbie's job.
Right, and then it's
Oh,
still.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
And the pay raise that due is then approved for them to get,
But
40 or 54,000 instead of 48,000, has that already been approved?
That was for the building inspector, right, Gwen?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know what the commission, that'd go in front of the commissioners, wouldn't it, first?
did they approve, the commissioners approve it?
It hasn't been in front of them, I've been watching it closely and haven't.
Well, we can just table and send it back in Monday.
I don't have a problem.
On Monday, you'll talk
Yeah.
about it.
All right,
When we were talking about Robbie, when we were talking about Robbie, now she'll get benefits, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that was something I was gonna present to you guys, but we can talk about it next Monday.
yeah, she'll be full-time. I mean,
Yeah, right, absolutely.
all right,
I'm just thankful she was there to kind of pull us all together.
yeah, was. Anybody have anything else?
So what they're doing in the plan, they're taking, they had 3 full-time positions and then a part-time position, which we turned into a full-time position for Sabina. That's what happened, because there was Bose, Mary, Robbie, Sabina.
Right,
Okay, now we're down to Robbie, so you're taking all 4 full-time positions and making it 3 full-time positions with raises. With more money going to those 3 full-time
we'll
positions.
talk about it on Monday
Okay.
with commissioners. Anything else?
Don't let go of your point on that though, Kelly, that's probably a
Yeah.
good point to bring up.
And people on the plan commission president knows that because. I talked to him today and I told him, I said. We're getting a lot of crap about this because it's like not consistent. And that's kind of what
In
we're
the
talking
past, we
about.
were always concerned because all the other departments are gonna ask for the same thing, I mean, in fairness.
All right, without all that being said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, just one for home, you said those reports from Baker Tilly, was that both or just the one?
Just the one.
Just the solar, when are they gonna have the one for about next year?
Never had approval to do that.
Oh, shoot, I mean, should we talk about that real quick? I mean, I think we need to get that going too, don't we? Like,
Talk about it Monday.
They would talk about it Monday. I'll call them and ask them about it.
They can give us a quote
They can get a quote at least.
without approval, right?
Yeah, yeah, I can get a quote from them at least.
Cause I think because they've already been doing that for a lot of
They've
counties.
done it
is
for
what I
Cass
heard.
County, I know,
Have they?
yeah.
And what was the opinion with Cass?
And I haven't seen it yet. I just talked to the commissioner, one of the commissioners about it the other day.
Cause I heard the ones that they've been looking at so far, this is just rumor, conjecture, but I've heard that people are freaking out, like it's gonna be, not gonna be good.
Yeah, and this is not the worst year.
No.
No, the worst year is in a couple of years. Yeah. Yeah, we really got let down by our legislators, I mean.
So they're trying to force the income tax.
Oh,
They are, and they're getting to,
And
are you
show
talking
the
about
fact
Cedar?
that they're doing all this low property taxes, and they're putting the onus of raising other taxes on us. That's exactly what they.
yeah, real two quick thing to think about for fodder. I talked to Fred today, the health department. And he would like to have a rate for the nurses, the RNs. Right now, it's $25 an hour, which I don't know why any RN would work for $25. He wanted to make it from 25 to 30. I told him to talk about it tonight. They've got the money to do it, but we're still gonna have to get it through everybody. And the next thing is really the big deal. Community corrections. The pretrial diversion program. Where they have, I don't know what his name is, you probably know what his name is, Dave. The guy that does all that for him. So in the past, that position has been funded by the state. Well, that position was dropped by the state. And here's why I think it was dropped. I think it was dropped because all that position does is keep the local offenders out of the county jail. Well, the state doesn't care about the county jail. They care about them going down to the state where they have to pay for them. So now we're paying $8 a day for somebody that's on an ankle brace and home detention. Or we're gonna pay $35 to incarcerate them.
That's different than the pretrial diversion.
It's not it's some, I don't know the right
Yeah, PTE is
terminology.
something, but I know where you're getting.
You know what I mean? He's the person there that works with them and says, okay, you're not going to jail.
Pretrial monitoring.
Maybe, I don't know.
Does
what
that have
exact-
to do with a race?
Okay, that's what it is. I don't-
Alternative sentencing.
Yeah. So. That's something we're gonna have to talk about too. Either we're gonna. And there's no other way to fund it except for us to fund
We
it.
still have the public defender to deal with too, like we kind of haven't brought that up in a while, but that's coming
Yeah.
too.
Unless they, and I don't know, I just.
So even Cedar will be going away, they're gonna
Raise
force
the
us
user fee.
to.
Yeah.
That from Cedar to live.
So they already went through the user fee
I mean,
thing.
the taxes won't go up, but we're gonna have to change.
They can't raise it. It's
Or
got by the
we're
state.
gonna really be.
It's got something.
We don't stay on
income, and
top
there's
of
like a
that.
maximum
Because the state
that you can charge.
Lower.
and
what we can
$8
do
is
to
a
fix it.
maximum.
Is that not correct?
So, all right, anything else? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Do you have a second? All in favor?
All right.
There you go.
That was a pretty good deal for Saturday, don't you think?
Yeah. It's good for them. Tennessee, I know that.
Tennessee.
I was out in a beautiful place, Tennessee, but over by Marysville, thank you.
That was a real good.